I've been thinking about how to dress her because I have so many outfits, but I want to try and see if I can perhaps dress her the way she is right now on only the bust stand. And I have had a few ideas that I just want to go through and show you the process of how I went from my first draft to my latest draft on how to use the bust stand, to use the yukata or the kimono or the dresses that I already own, and to display them and not just keep them in a drawer somewhere waiting for the doll to arrive. So here we are, and let's start with the first draft. The first draft involved toilet paper rolls, actually. I noticed when I threw one away once that, hey, this is really good cardboard that you could use for projects, and I'm sure that already many hobbyists are using it, or craftsmen people are using them for that. And I was wondering, maybe I could make use of them. Because Vogue's yukata have two pieces, a top and bottom part. I can actually use this for this purpose of displaying clothes on a bust, and just using the top part of the yukata and storing away the bottom part in a drawer. I can still display it, but it's a bit too long. The top part is a bit too long, so I thought maybe I could use the cardboard rolls, to elevate the bust just a few centimeters, so that it still looks nice, but you can't see the cardboard, so just a small ring should do. And so this ring was born. It's made from toilet paper rolls and a little bit of different cardboard that I had on hand at the time. And it's several layers of cut up rings that I glued together with some supports on the inside, even though they're not needed. It's really sturdy already like that. But this is basically the first draft of the bust elevator. I don't know, bust stand, I don't know. This is the first draft. And this is how the first iteration looks like when dressed. I'm sure you've already seen it several times in my past videos, because I've finished this part quite a long time ago and have been using it for many photos. On Instagram there are a few as well, where I use this, and it's been serving me really well. But I've been getting greedy. I really want to use the bottom part of the yukata as well. So I thought, maybe I can, elevate her even further. Naturally, with this comes more problems with stability. I don't want her to fall. I think this is the biggest nightmare of any hobbyist, that then as like a full doll, when a doll face plants and maybe a face up chips, or something breaks with the head itself, really this would be a nightmare. So I had a lot more to think about, and the way this the bust stand stands on this version right now is not safe, since it can move around, it can slide on it, and so I needed a bit more around the next elevation, the next step. So the next step was this small tower that was actually a draft that I made, and that was quickly overrun then by the next draft, but I want to show it just for continuity reasons. Here I thought, okay, maybe I just take one of those paper towel cardboard rolls, and stick it on a flat piece of cardboard, make it a bit more stable with rings of cardboard, and at the top I placed a lot of rings of cardboard, and then the last ring is a bit higher so that the bust stand would be nestled in very tightly. This is how the inside looks like. So you can see those rings of cardboard and the one layer that sticks out a bit. This is how she looks on it. She's nestled very tightly. I had actually a bit of trouble getting her in there. So really it's very sturdy, at the very least at the top. But I noticed very quickly that at the bottom it's not that sturdy. I ran into a few other problems as well. The main problem that I ran into is that actually it was not high enough. So the paper towel roll actually limited me in height, and thus the actually to add this bottom of the yukata, it was not high enough for me to do that. I would have had to, take off quite a lot, fold it up, roll it up, and it would not look nice if I did that. So I thought, okay, now I have to go higher. What is there that is higher? And this is when I started to go away from cardboard and paper towel rolls or toilet paper rolls, and went on to wood. So I went to my local shop and got a thin sheet of wood and some thicker pieces of wood that I could put together in a shape that now is not round anymore, but is still a rectangle of same sides, and took it in the length that is around 40 centimeters, because the bust with the head on top is around 20 centimeters, and the doll that is arriving is around 59 centimeters. Well, a centimeter off is not that bad. It would still mimic it very well, so I can still display the clothes that I want in the way that I want to. The base is very large, so it's very stable. But I had the problem that, of course, how do I secure the bust on top of it? For this purpose, let's look at the bust that I have. So many busts are different. Some are decorated like this one. Some can't move, some can move. This one can, as you can see. There are a lot of different types. Some are wider at the base, some are less wide, some are higher, some are lower. And this one, as I said, is 20 centimeters high. And it's got a feature that I could use, which is a hollow space here at the bottom that I thought, oh, I can maybe mold some polymer clay to it and then attach that clay to the top of my bust stand elevator. I'm not sure about the name right now, but I'm going with that for now. So I went on and used some polymer clay, some cling film, and then pushed it in as much clay as I could, and let it harden in the oven. And the result is this weird contraption here. So basically, the top is what you can see is the inner shape of the bust stand. And I thought, okay, maybe it's going to fit on top even better if there are, it fits the round shape of the entire base. So I added some wood strips made from coffee sticks, I think they're called, those steering sticks. And I put on a bit more polymer clay to, make a sort of casing around the wooden base. And then I added a few decorations with the wooden sticks as well. And this is the new result. And now it's high enough to have the bottom part of the yukata added to it. And this is how it looks like. There's still that space at the bottom where the feet would be, which of course now does not look perfect. I'm still thinking about what I could do with that space at the bottom. Maybe I'm going to use some decorations. Maybe I'm going to, paint some pretend feet or something. I'm not quite sure yet what I'm going to do. But one last thing that this version needs is magnets. These tiny, when I bought them, they were called buckyballs. Like in a museum shop, I got them. Now they're called neodymium magnets, and they're going to be very useful in pinning everything in the right position without having to use any kind of needles or whatsoever. And this is what she looks like with the magnets. It holds the sleeves together very well, so it looks like she might have hands. But the problem with this bust stand is that her shoulders don't fill out. Her shoulders are not complete, and as such, she's missing her shoulders, her arms, so those parts of the yukata don't fill out. And I think the bottom would not look as thin if she had actual legs. Yeah, so that's, I think, something that I can't really fix that quickly. I might look into some new iterations of this wood version so that I can mimic legs a bit better. But as of now, I'm very happy with this version. I think it needs some color to it. So I think there will be some paint and some lace pieces that I can find in my drawers, and that I can add to it. And this is how it looks finished. I painted it completely white, and then I sprayed it with a, it's similar to the Mr. Super Clear spray that we usually use for face-ups, but I thought, okay, I don't want to, waste that on something that is not a face-up. So I went and bought something similar that is also for, paintings or drawings and everything, and try to do it with that. But what I noticed is that, especially at the top, since it's meant also for drawings, so for paper that is still meant to be able to move, it has to stay a bit flexible. And that means that the surface was sticky in a sense. And when I compared it, I had still some gloves that I used some MSC with, holding heads and then spraying, and some MSC got on the gloves. And I noticed that on the gloves it flaked. So I assumed that, okay, MSC is really only meant for hard surfaces, and I sprayed it with MSC again, and now it is not sticky anymore, and I don't feel like it's going to do something with the bust stand that I don't want it to do, like staining or leaving a residue in any kind of form. So yeah, and I added a little bit of is it called lace trim? Some decorative trim at the top and at the bottom to a bit hide the seams, so that does not look too obvious that it's put together with different materials. Yeah, and this is the finished product. And I can show you now how it looks like it's dressed. We're going to start with some waist padding. It's not necessarily needed with this bust stand, but I do like to fill in the spaces a little bit. So I am going to add it just in case. Tuck in the ends so they don't peek out at any point. All right. And then we start with the bottom part so that we don't have to navigate around the top. The left is going over the right. I think it can go even lower. It's really a bit difficult to estimate the right height with the extender here, because usually you would look at your ankles, but I think this height works. Just turn it over a little. Like so. And I secure it in the back. Okay, and now we can continue with the top part of the yukata. You can really notice, just as like what you can see here is that the bust stand is not the full height that the torso would be, since it's so low that if you have just the bust stand there, at first I assumed, okay, her waist is exactly here where the no, not her waist, her hips are exactly where this protrusion here is from the bust stand, but actually it's a bit lower than that, which made it even more difficult with the other bust stand extenders, that it's not even here that I have to put this bottom part, but it's lower. Yeah. But anyway, we're going to add this on top. Okay. The yukata from folks, some do, but most don't come with any strings. So I took this from a different kimono set. Since it's so much easier to just, you know, make sure you have everything in place before you put on the obi. So I'm just going to hide the ends here. Not in a very beautiful manner. The obi is going to be on top of that. And then I'm going to check that everything is laying correctly. Pulling here, pulling there. And then I add this shiny obi that is meant for this yukata. It's a bit trickier to put this on with the bust stand, since the circumference of the base of the bust stand is a bit wider than the circumference of the obi. So I have to put the obi a bit higher on the doll than it usually would be. It would be maybe by this lower here, but I can't due to the bust stands. I'm just going to move it down a little bit, maybe hide the strings, of course. Yeah, sometimes it's a bit difficult to work with the spaces that I've got here, but you make do with what you have, right? So draping it in a way that looks nice. And as the last little thing that I have here are tabby feet that I bought secondhand. They're Volks tabby feet, and I hope they fit the Deus Ex Machina that I've got, that is now being shipped actually. I hope it fits, but I don't know if it's going to be, but at least for the bust stand, it's a really cool detail that I can add. Put them in shoes and then just, place them right here, like it looks like she actually got feet. Alright, this is how it looks. I really like it that I can now display in one form or another the kimono and yukata that I've bought over the last nearly 2 years now, and that I can really work with them, display them, while the Deus Ex Machina is not yet here. But it's also going to be really fun to have her here then. She's going to be here in maybe a month, and then to display these two next to each other, and to make some fun photos, fun displays with them, both of them next to each other. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this project, thinking about the things that I could do, that I could input, that I can change, and I hope that you found this interesting. Maybe you have bust stands that allow for similar things. I'm sure that even bust stands that do not have a hollow space at the bottom can be strapped into some kind of contraption that can hold them safely on top of such a construct. If I shake her now, it's all very sturdy, and I mean it does shake a bit with because it's so high, but still it's not. I don't worry that she's going to fall off, because I've taken enough measures that would catch her from doing that. So even if I don't know, someone bumps against the table, she still stands, and that is the most important thing. I don't think I can save her from, I don't know, earthquakes, but this is enough, and I'm quite happy with it.